What's good, people? You know what? The last video I made regarding the right to bear arms, um, there was a question that was asked on that video. Somebody responded to that, asked a question, and I thought it would be a pretty good discussion. And I'm going to give a little bit of my thoughts on this. And if anybody else want to piggyback off of this and give their version or their thoughts and ideas, feel free to do this. But this is somebody that does not live here in this country. Um, I believe they live in the UK. Now, in the UK, from what I understand, from what I'm told, they're not allowed to bear arms there for whatever reason. And I had someone contact me before and was talking about how fortunate and lucky we were to be able to own guns, okay? Be it a handgun or a rifle, what have you, because you know, it's always been a part of the American culture, okay? And for someone to just come and threaten to take it away after, you know, being so accustomed to this, you know, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be some resistance there, okay? But this is what the comment the person made. I believe this is a male that made this comment. And it says, I feel like I missed something. Are there some ruckus in the U.S. about owning weapons or not? Is there really some kind of fight that could lead so bad that military people have to use force? Okay. Now, the so-called law enforcement has always been using force against the U.S. civilians. Just watch a lot of YouTube videos. There's innocent, unarmed victims, man, like where the cops would tase them, will shoot them. And as a matter of fact, I just heard of a case that just happened where a cop shot a man. It was like wrong identity, false identity. You know, he thought that he knocked on this door, went inside, ended up shooting the man. Something happened. I hadn't read the complete article, but I'll try to find it and post it on the bottom. You guys can read it for yourself. But, you know, this is an unarmed man that was at his house, and the cops came in and shot him. You know, it turned out to be the wrong person. That's something that happens all the time. So I think that those that's in the position of authority know that at any moment something can happen or kick off where people start revolting, man, because they don't like what's going on in this country, okay? And they don't like the fact that the police can do anything they want to do and get away with it. They give them a vacation, and then they go through the court system and then come back and say, you know, we find that he was justified in taking an innocent life, okay? So I think that people are on the edge. There's a lot of people that's on the edge now, and they want to try to control that because they know that, I'm going to say, they created a mess that they might not be able to control. Now, I've always wondered, you know, how could the majority be controlled by the minority? But when you think about it, we give them that type of power, okay? We give them that power to go in our paycheck and take what they want anytime they want, and we don't say a word. We just become a society where we just learn to submit and just take it. You know, so if you go to work and you work so many hours a week, man, and then, you know, they next thing you know, they say, I'm taking some taxes. They like gangster you and tell you what they're going to take. And then you look at your paycheck and then you just get frustrated and then you let it go. You go on about your business. They just took your money that you worked so hard and earned. Okay, so that's the kind of society that we live in where we have the minority that's ruling. Okay, and you're getting people that's starting to get a little restless now. Okay, so yeah, there's and then plus not only that, people here in the U.S., man, it's like not only that it's a part of U.S. culture, but there's a lot of people that hunt. You know, it's not necessarily for violence, you know, or self-defense. A lot of people hunt. A lot of people shoot for sport, right? And then you got people who protect their homes, man, because, you know, in the time that we're living in now, man, you got people that's taking all kind of drugs inside themselves. They eating people's face, they eating their dogs, and You know, and you don't know when you could be attacked or when your home is going to be attacked. There's people that will come right inside your home in broad open daylight with you sitting in there. You know, you could be at home at nighttime and upstairs in your bedroom and you hear somebody walking around downstairs in your living room. They broke in. You know, so people, they need weapons to defend themselves and their family, because we're living in times where people have lost their minds. You know, the last part of this question he asked, he says, why do Americans have to have weapons? Like I just mentioned, you know, people hunt, people do it for sport. You know, go to the pistol range and just shoot for sport. I've owned weapons since I've been out the military, and I haven't shot anybody since I've been out. You know, I haven't. You know, and I think a lot of times when a criminal, I'm going to say a criminal or a potential criminal, have idea that you are armed, they're not. A lot of times they're not going to be so quick to come in your house, especially if they know that your house is protected. You know, so and then you have some that are bold enough to do that. You know, they don't care if you have a dog, or they don't care if you have a shotgun or what have you. They're gonna come in your house because somewhere in their psyche they believe they can get away with it. So people need weapons to protect themselves in this day and time, especially single parent mothers. You know, there's countless number of women that get off work, that work at night. They get off work and then they're confronted by these guys asking them for money, that's making sexual comments to them. So, you know, I got in my car one time. I almost shot this dude, man, because I got in my car one morning, and before I got in, I didn't see anyone. You know, there was no one. I'm always checking out my surroundings. After I got in my car and got ready to crank it up, there was a dude right at my window there. Scared the mess out of me. And to the point where, and when I say he scared the mess out of me, not like frightful, but to the point where he startled me to the point where if there was a weapon sitting in my car seat, I would have shot him. Okay, so you know, and he was just somebody asking for money, but me, I don't know that. And if it was a woman in the car, she really don't know the motive and intentions of this person that's walking up to their car. And you get some of these panhandlers that's so bold that they won't leave, man. You tell them to get away from your car, they're gonna sit there and still argue with you or beg for whatever you have, man. And you don't know the motive and intent of this person, man. So I think that when it comes to owning weapons, man, it's good to have them. Like I said, for sport, for hunting, and for protection, to protect your family, because you got some insane people out here, you know. So, and then he says he really don't get it, but we're living in a society, and I hate to sound like I'm, you know, repetitive, but we're living in a society where guns have always been a part of this. You know, it's a part of, you know, it's the Second Amendment. You know, so it's part of the Constitution. So to take that away, and I think that too, it's about power and control. You know, when the government, you know, is going to send a military in or law enforcement in to make sure that you don't have weapons, they want to disarm you so that they have power, because it's to the point now where you have a lot of civilians that's packing a lot heavier than the cops are, you know, but yet the cops are doing just as much crime as the civilians are. You know, you can't trust them. People do not trust law enforcement, you know, and there are people that don't have a problem with taking law enforcement out because they become a threat. You know, they're not the peace officers. They have become a threat, and when they deal with you, they deal with you very disrespectfully. You know, so I think that fear is in the air, where the authorities know that something could or possibly kick off, and you know they want to try to stop that, but they're going to try to stop it in the name of we want to try to keep the peace. We want a peaceful place. Now, according to the scripture, says when they say peace and safety, then comes sudden destruction. Okay, so if you there's a movie that was out, and I'm going to end this video. There was a movie that was out a while ago, Red Dawn. I'm sure some of you seen that movie before, where I guess it was the Mexicans raided this certain part of the United States, and you had these dudes that ran up in the mountains and they had their guns and stuff like that, and they just took over. You know, they took over this place, man. The whole military just took over this town, just invaded the U.S. and took over this certain town. So, you know, there's no telling what could happen, man. And when you disarm civilians, man, or the citizens, man. It's like how are we going to protect ourselves if our home or our family's threatened? You know what I mean? So maybe somebody else want to add on and feedback the video, but I'm gonna put this in the description box on the bottom. I'm gonna type this out so you guys can see exactly what he wrote. And if you want to, speak on it, you can. So feel free to comment this video, feedback, subscribe, and tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.